And welcome, everybody. Good morning. Good to have you with us. A brilliant Thursday morning with lots of sunshine all across the Granite State and southern Maine. Thanks for joining us all across our News Talk lineup. 98.1 AM 1270 WTSN, 107.7 WTPL, and 107.3 1490 WEMJ. I'm Mike Pomp from Studio 1 in Dover. Coming up after the 9 o'clock news, more conversation with the newsmakers. Jack Heath will join you here on the Pulse of New Hampshire. Well, a lot of big news for this particular person, the former governor of South Carolina and the ambassador to the UN and a 2024 Republican presidential nominee. She's looking to become that nominee. We've got Nikki Haley on the line. Nikki, hold on one second. I think Gov.Chris Sununu is calling in as well. So let's put you on hold there and see if we get everybody there and see if we have everybody. Let's see. Do we have Gov.Chris Sununu there and Nikki Haley on the line?
Yes, we're both on the line, I believe.
And you guys can hear each other. Amazing technology.
Good to be back on with you, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Gov.Chris Sununu, how are you? Good morning.
I'm doing great, brother. How you been?
I'm doing well. You and Nikki Haley making some news this week. Of course, Gov.Chris Sununu endorsing Nikki Haley, the former South Carolina governor, in the Republican presidential race in 2024. We're just 6 weeks away, Governor Sununu, from the New Hampshire First of the Nation primary. Your thoughts on the coveted endorsement? Everybody was looking to see which way you would go, and you went with Nikki Haley, and tell us why.
Look, she connects. I mean, let's start right there. I kind of have my own brand, as you know, Mike, and I have my own style. And at the end of the day, it's the individual that has to come first, not just kind of some big government solution. This is where I am, and this is what we're going to shove down your throat. That's not the way we do it in New Hampshire. And so when I see all these candidates out there spending time with folks, and, Chris and Ron have done a good job, but at the end of the day, folks come up to me time and time again, and they talk about the connection they had, the fact that they could ask her a question, the fact that they could tell their story. And that's so important. And to have a president that can carry that mentality where the individual is coming first, where the locality is coming first, where the personal issue is coming first, and then carrying that to such a high level of the White House, but maintaining that philosophy of we're not here just to solve all your problems, we're here to create opportunities for you. Not for Congress, not for government, not for contractors, but for the individuals. What does your kid need in school? What do you need for mental health services? Where has the system not worked for you as an individual? I just think that's just an incredible opportunity. She's knocked it out of the park. Out of the park. Traveling to all these cities and towns, the word is getting out. The momentum is out there. Everybody's coming on board. I mean, they had to turn almost 1,000 people away at the door at the town hall in Keene last night. It was incredible. So there's just a lot of excitement and momentum. The next 40 days, you got to earn it. You can't take anything for granted. No one's going to get elected just because Chris Sununu says. But I think both she and myself, her ground game, it's all going to be out there. Not just telling people thou shalt and thou must, but hey, here's the opportunity to bring not just our party, but our entire country together in an optimistic and energetic way, something that people can be really proud of.
Yeah. And Nikki Haley joining us here on the Pulse of New Hampshire as well. Obviously excited about the endorsement of the Live Free or Die Governor Chris Sununu. What does the endorsement mean to you? Some people don't put a lot of credence into endorsements. Obviously, this is a big endorsement, first in the nation presidential primary. What does it mean to you personally going forward now?
Well, I think, look, I am thrilled to have it. I think, I'd much rather have it than be watching somebody else get it. So I can tell you that endorsements do matter. But he's the coolest governor in the country. But more than that, what's he done? He's fought for economic freedom. He's fought for individual liberties. He's fought for local control. He's continued to cut taxes. He's everything that we are trying to do in the country. I mean, how nice would it be if we had a live free or die country? And that's what we're trying to do. And so, look, I mean, the people of New Hampshire love Chris. They trust Chris. They have a relationship with him. And so for him to go and put himself out there and say, she's the one that's going to make this a live free or die country, it's everything.
Governor Sununu, I want to go back to you for a second. You told the audience the other night at the rally at the McIntyre Ski Resort there that the race has come down to Nikki Haley and Donald Trump. The other candidates not a factor, but obviously Donald Trump, as you know, and Nikki Haley knows this as well, up in the polls by quite a lot. How does Nikki Haley bridge the gap here? Why is it between Haley and Trump?
Well, look, obviously there's a lot of consolidation now, right? So we used to have 13 candidates, and barely anyone could even pay attention to all of them, back in August, and then they had the first debate. and they said, gee, will the Republican Party winnow it down? We did. That's exactly what we did. We kind of winnowed it down to decisions. And as you get closer and closer, as you come through Iowa to New Hampshire, you really only have 2 or 3 candidates that anyone's even looking at. And there's going to be even further consolidation there. It isn't just an anti-Trump thing, right? I supported Trump strongly in 16, and as did Nikki Haley, and she supported him in 20. But at the end of the day, we're all moving on. We don't go backwards in our process. And I think more and more folks are going to come to that conclusion. The veterans are getting on board. The conservatives are getting on board. Folks that have undeclared voters that have never voted before are getting excited about a candidacy with Nikki Haley as the president. They're getting on board. So we're going to have record turnout. There's no doubt about it. She's the only candidate putting a solid ground game together here in New Hampshire. She doesn't fly in and do a speech on a stage, wave a little bit, make some crude remarks and fly away. That's not campaigning. That's not engaging with voters. She's doing it the right way. And in these last weeks, that's where that momentum really compounds and will deliver her a huge win. And then the reset button is hit, right? If folks are hearing this interview right now and saying, boy, it'd be great if we could just hit a reset button on the presidential campaign, that's it. Get out there and vote. If you're a Republican and undeclared, if you can vote on January 23rd, go vote. And if everyone who has the power to vote does it, she'll win in a landslide. And then everything changes, right? And we kind of start anew. She gets to go into Super Tuesday almost in a one-on-one race. And that's why right now it's Nikki Haley versus Donald Trump. It's not going to be easy, to be sure, but that's why she's working hard and earning it. And that's what you want to see in your candidates. That's what New Hampshire voters want to see, earning the vote, not just demanding it.
Yeah. Ambassador Haley, I want to ask you, in the next 6 weeks or so, January 23rd is right around the corner, 6 weeks away. Some people are going to be obviously involved with the holiday season, and then they're going to take their mind off politics a little bit. So after the new year, you got to come out with guns blazing, so to speak, and try to get everybody to get out there and vote. What do you need to do to lessen the margin that's between you and the former president right now?
Well, I think if you look at our numbers in New Hampshire, we've done that quite a bit. I mean, we are certainly, not as far away from him as the national media keeps showing in the national polls. It is his support is getting softer and ours is getting stronger. And we're going to continue to touch every hand, answer every question. I'm going to continue to be the last person that leaves at every one of these town halls and events. And so that's why I hope your listeners will go to NikkiHaley.com, see where we're going to be next. But, you're going to have to get used to my face because I'm going to fight for every single Granite Stater's vote because it matters. It matters on the direction of where we go with our economy and getting this debt down so that our kids don't hate us for what has happened to our economy. It's so that we can get our kids back on track, get them reading again. It's so that we can bring law and order and get this crime down and require prosecutors to prosecute according to the law. It's to finally secure the southern and the northern border so that we can get, stop all this lawlessness. And it's to where we prevent wars so that we don't have any other threats facing us. We can do this. But in order to do this, it takes a lot of courage. And if you look at those general election polls, it should send a chill up your spine because Trump and Biden are head-to-head in almost all of those polls. On a good day, Trump might be up by 2. In the Wall Street Journal, he was up by 4. That's margin of error. I defeat Biden by 17 points. Think about what that means for our country. Think about the fact that that's governorships, that's Senate seats, that's House seats, that's all the way down to the school boards. If you've got someone like that at the top, that's a mandate to say we're going to stop the spending and the borrowing and get our economy back on track. We're going to close our border. We're going to get our education back to the basics. And we're going to reduce the size of the federal government and allow economic freedom and individual liberty to win. We can do this. And it takes courage from everybody in New Hampshire to know, don't complain about what happens in a general election if you don't play in this primary.
Yeah, you got to get out there and vote, no doubt about it. Nikki, you're still in the state of New Hampshire. You got another town hall meeting later today?
We're going to be in Atkinson this morning at 10, and we have had a great time. We've had hundreds of people show up at all of our town halls. I hope everybody will check us out. We'll continue to be back. And look, we're going to fight for every vote, and we're excited. We're going to get our country back on track, and I think the way we do it is through the Granite State. All right. Former Governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, presidential candidate here in 2024, and Governor Chris Sununu. Thank you both for joining us today. Happy holidays to the both of you, and we'll talk down the road. Thank you both. Thank you. Thank you. Go to NikkiHaley.com.